Hey everyone, welcome. Today we'll be covering the Virtual Summer Memories content as well as the EVO batches that came out around this point of time. Joining me today is Harvey Kais. Say hello, Harvey Kais.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you over the stream that suddenly popped up. Hi, I'm here.
Hey Harvey. And Housamo.
Hello.
And last but certainly not least, Zalgus.
No, I'm definitely least. Hello.
Hey, don't put yourself down like that. Alright, we will now be talking with the ARs first, so let's hop right into that. So, the first topic to be covered is going to be the Otohime Yamasachihiko AR from the AR banner that is for this reprint. Let me pull out my notes because I'm covering this. Alright, so this AR lets you heal a bit every turn start at a pretty low rate of 50%, as well as lets you halfway pierce evasion, giving you 100 times advantage multiplier against it. So this AR is rather simple. Let's just get this out of the way. The healing itself is irrelevant. You will never use this AR for healing, even for tanks. Even when it's fully maxed, it's pretty much not worth it, strictly just because of the low rate itself, even if the 400 HP is okay. But 200 at 15 is just not usable at all. The evasion pierce, though, is nice to have because it rounds out the absences we had for ARs that were able to pierce for ARs before. So in comparison, we had a few other ARs that let you pierce evasion before, such as the Tsukuyomi one, which is the most recent one, that let you pierce slash with slash or long slash units. We also had the Ikutoshi Vacuum one that let you pierce with thrust and shot, and lastly we had Arsalan and Vargo, which actually pierce through all defense buffs, including evasion, that could be equipped on thrust and blow. So this one actually already has some overlap with the shot, but it uniquely pierces with snipe and magic. So there's actually quite a few column clears that could benefit from the snipe multiplier. Sorry, not shot, rather from snipe and magic. You can start equipping this AR, namely on column clears such as Akiha Gongen or Wakantanka. Akiha Gongen's a variant, that is. There's also quite a large list of magic units, but not all of them can be quite as relevant to this AR just because they don't have much damage as your standard column clears. However, to name a few, there's Anvari, Yoritomo, Kengo, Galore, Horkeu Kami, so far. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this AR. You probably won't use it for grinding just because boosters are it for you, but if you want to sacrifice a bit for an evasion piercer, this AR just might be your guy. So that's it for my thoughts. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have something that's like magic and snipe, because for people who don't really care about boosters, mainly the Japanese community, stuff like having evasion piercing for those commons or column clears is pretty nice for them.
May I request that you speak a bit closer to the mic? Okay.
Fine. Basically, there's a whole bunch of people, mainly the Japanese community, who don't care about boosters at all, so...
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
It's like casual people. Like, they definitely use boosters, but they're not like gung-ho about, filling all their AR slots with boosters, so... Yeah. I think it's like a nice addition for those kind of people who don't really care too much about hyper-optimizing their gameplay. Since snipe and magic is pretty relevant for attackers, especially when we have people like Beach on Vari nowadays with that Skibo running around. So yeah, I think it's a neat addition. Although I think it's a little annoying that people started asking for nun type evasion piercing now, as if like we needed a stronger Oscar.
Oh, we do.
I think we do.
Huh? What?
I think we do.
We need a stronger Oscar? Jesus.
Of course I do.
I mean, it's a natural combination. I don't know why they didn't decide to put none for this, just because Otohime technically turns into none. So why not, right? Now we're just waiting for the stronger evasion piercing, I suppose, for units like Oscar and I guess we have quite a lot of non-range board wipers, like Ben 10 as well, I believe.
Yeah, little Bented's kind of lost on the side due to Oscar. She's very relevant.
Well, I'll go next. As a Otohime enjoyer, I do appreciate the I do appreciate the ability to actually give her evasion piercing, because that was definitely something I missed from having on my column clearer or even snipe unit, because there are very few snipe units who can actually pierce evasion. I think that it's just what's his face,
Robinson.
Chris. No, I was going to say Christmas Jiraiya actually, but does Robinson do it as well?
I don't know. Don't you have them? Don't you use them?
That's why I was confused.
Okay,
I feel like he should, but okay, I don't know.
He doesn't. He removes buffs before he attacks.
Same thing,
So-
same thing.
40%, yeah. He roll with it.
Just
His
use
evasion
buff-
piercing is on his DS.
Oh, okay. I thought there was something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm half right.
Disgusting. But yeah, so having Otohime actually able to pierce evasion is nice, because that's definitely something I felt was, well, not missing, I suppose. There isn't a need for these, column clearers to be a catch-all, but it would be nice. So yeah, there's that for me at least. Also, I initially liked the art until I examined it a bit more, and then there were a few weird things, like Yamasachihiko's ridiculous yaoi hands, but we don't talk about that.
Also, he's suddenly Caucasian.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Otohime's face looks fine, but the rest of her body looks a bit weird.
It's okay. The face is pretty. That's all that matters.
I feel like it's more elaborately drawn than everything else.
Zalgas, if you want to talk about the art this much, you should join the tier list stream from before.
Yeah.
I gave her a nose job.
I think the sharks should cover Yama's face. The sharks are pretty cute.
I didn't even notice the
Correct.
sharks, but yeah. Harvey, we are waiting for your closing thoughts.
I think the secondary effects of these evasion piercing ARs are like slowly getting worse. Like we started with one that gives us combo on turn start, and now we've gone to the shitty adjacent healing to allies. It's super low rate too, so like it's kind of sad. But other than that, yeah, this is a well overdue AR for snipe units in magic range.
It's pretty much every category of what's called column clears, since it also includes shot as well. So that's nice. Anyways, I think we talked about this AR, so I'll read up the chat and move on. Yo everyone, beautiful art, looks pretty, the music is very loud. Yeah, sorry about that, I have my volume specifically set for these streams, but for some reason it got reset when I guess I reshuffled my playlist. Stronger Oscar would be epic. Yeah, he certainly would, but no one likes Oscar for some reason. So we'll go on to the next AR. This is going to be the Volos Shennong AR. This is going to be covered by RB Kais. Go ahead.
Volos. Alright, need a... So this AR gives your units a defensive multiplier against magic ranged enemies. So that's pretty much going to be useless like 90% of the time, because we don't even have a unit that bestows magic range to enemies in the first place. So you're never going to rely on this for actual defense. The actual meat of this AR is the attribute buff increase 8 CP to self at a 40 to 80% rate. And what's nice is that the CP doesn't actually scale with the AR level. So if you really want to reset for that 8 CP, you can just use this at level 1. So it's like a mini Wakan Tonka Tetsuox AR, but without the CS multiplier and at a lower rate. It's kind of inconsistent at 1 copy, but if you get like 10 of these, you can match the Wakan Tonka Tetsuox AR. That's at level 1. So I guess it's more reasonable if you actually wail on this AR banner. So you can equip this on Thresh Shot and Long Slash units. So anyone who has like a decently strong CS would probably enjoy this. I was thinking about using it on Yulan Batar because he already has after buff CP stuff, so this just kind of exacerbates that. Bae Bunyan's variant is also a pretty nice fit for it, since he has an all-range charge. Although it's kind of hard to like reapply his own buffs to himself, so you will need like buffers from from your allies. Yeah, there is actually a good amount of units that might want this AR, just because their charge skills are pretty strong. Like Loki 3-star can equip this, and he has a pretty nice CS. But yeah, the best fit for this AR are probably units that can like constantly reapply buffs to themselves just to charge their CS faster. Oh yeah, Gucci can equip it too, so that's neat. Alright, that's all my thoughts on this thing. I didn't get it, so I didn't get to test too much with it.
Okay, thanks, Harvey. I actually do have the Wakan Tetsuox AR. I don't really use it much nowadays, but when I did use it, it was fairly fun, although, you know, it's just like making anyone into Kasuga. So I guess the charm of that to me has been a bit lost, but if you still think Kasuga Go Boom memes by putting Leanne and Bianum is fun, you have more options now. Well, that's all my thoughts on that, really.
Okay.
Oh, my mic was off. Whoops. But yeah, I was gonna say that it's nice that the CP itself doesn't scale, so it's already at its base rate of 8. So you know they didn't like reduce it to 4 or something. Although if it scaled up to 16, that could be cool. But I just wish the base rate wasn't so ass, because 40% kind of sucks. And by kind of, I mean really sucks. So I think it's a strong effect if it weren't unreliable as hell.
Yeah, I think it's fairly nice. What was Ahab and Yor mentioned? They're kind of nice to look at in this list.
Do they get a lot of buffs?
Well, Ahab has that CS, I mean crit plus plus, if he gets a lot of CP. So.
Oh, right, so that actually
And
works.
Yorm is obviously a CP, like, monster, so he could just get a bit more for whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah, that would work if they're your
I think
favorites.
I mean, in the end, it just comes down to how many copies do you have of this AR due to like pulling for feet. So it doesn't really matter to most people.
Yeah. For me, in my eyes, this AR is just, you know, if you want to use the Wakan Tetsuox AR, but they can't equip it because of the unit restrictions, then you might want to try this one out instead.
Last thought, I think Volos is cute in this. Even though he has humongous eyebrows.
The Jurong effect. Okay, we don't.
I wanted to say that I think Volos has the worst case of side mouth I've ever seen. It's really weird looking.
There's some pretty bad cases of side mouth throughout the game, but yeah, this is pretty bad. It's fine though.
It does look like it'd be pretty easy to erase his mouth and replace it with something else, though.
Yeah. I actually think it's like cute because it's like stylized, but it's also kind of a little indefensible how much to the right it is.
Shennong looks like he's eating something. Like his cheeks like kind of puffy.
Oh, now they mention it.
He's grazing the grass when we don't see him.
Okay, you can read out the chat now, Harvey.
Alright. Can't unsee the yaoi hands, lol. Heterosexual couple in my Housamo cute. I wish they drew Shennong instead. Oh, there you go. There he is. Big farmer man. Best AR. Burly farmers are cute. Shennong's face is hella wide, yeah. That's what makes it cute. I guess he looks kind of goofy, honestly. LOL. Volos looking like a Sonic character with that mouth. Big, beefy men looking goofy is nice. Alright, that's it.
Alright, we'll now be moving on to the... this is not in my right order, but sure. Let's talk about this AR, because it's next on the list, I guess. Kurogane and Hephaestus. This will be covered by Housamo. Go ahead, when you're ready.
Okay, let me pull up the AR just so I don't mess up anything. Okay, first of all, I think this AR is shit. First of all, it gives when appearing glint strengthening to self, and this glint strengthening gives you an extra 5% to skill activation rate if you have glint. And the second effect is that you have removed paralysis at 50 to 100%. And the restrictions are Kurogane, Hephaestus, or Thrust and Magic. Okay, so the reason why I think this glint strengthening is shit is that there's like this theoretical discussion about what would happen if you could increase the skill seed limit to 15 instead of 10 skill seeds in like Samocord maybe like a few weeks ago. And there was like a consensus, I think, mainly just Erita, just saying that like there's nobody who could like guarantee their skills from that extra 5%. Like the closest case was like Ose, because he has that dazzle at like base 42%, and that becomes 84%, and then it's like 99%. So this is kind of like a similar situation where that 5% is not really going to guarantee any like skills at all, so you're not going to see like that consistency like at 100% guarantee. It does admittedly though make, like, you know, obviously with the extra 5% make skills more consistent, but there's like no guaranteeable effects. Like I was thinking about it and I thought like the only person that I could think of who could guarantee their effects would be like Yasuyori 4, because he has that meme like 76% evasion. So if he had like skill seeds, glint, then the glint strengthening, that would make it 100%. But you can't equip this AR because it's stress and magic. So yeah, all in all, I just threw up my hands and just said, okay, just equip this AR and anybody who you want to make their skills more consistent. So yeah, like Hephaestus 3 is probably a really good choice. Maybe you can put in like Triton or something and like roll for some meme evasions. Is there anybody else who could like get some meme shit on this? I don't know, but yeah, it's just like, do you really want extra 5%? Maybe you do. Oh, there's Jamboree Kaku. Okay, this AR is pretty good.
Okay. Does he have glint
yeah.
magic natally? I guess you could just give it to him.
Yeah, you just have to give him to it. Give that to him. But yeah, I don't really have a high opinion of this AR, but to be honest, if you're like a casual and you just want skills to pop off more than usual, like maybe you're like sick of rolling for Tetsuok's 3 Gambler plus, then I guess you can put this AR and like get that extra 5% when you somehow give him glint. Oh right. The last part is that the paralysis removal isn't really too amazing since we already have that. Due to like the Thor AR, I believe. So that's not a reason to pull for this AR, since I think everybody should have paralysis.
Well, you know, resistance effects generally aren't the reason why you would pull for an AR. So,
It's also base 50%. Fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, so there's like zero reason to pull for the AR when it comes to paralysis stuff. Like, it would just have to be this glint strengthening plus 5%. I guess like some people see value in that, but I think it's just meme territory.
You can put this on Licho, so he'll have 2 glint strengthening effects at the same time.
what was his other glint strengthening effect again? Was it like plus 3%
It's,
or something? Or
It's plus 10% with glint, I'm pretty sure.
does that actually
So-
improve his rates in anywhere?
I think
Well,
so.
Like anything
other
that's
than
not
the
already guaranteed from the
5%.
order.
He has like some 60% and 70% stuff.
Yeah. So nothing guarantees, but if you like skill seed him, then you get like plus 15% from the glint strengthenings, and then the extra 10%. So you get like a 95% for weapon change blow and 85% for curse.
Weapon change blow is guaranteed if you skill seed him, and then curse is at 90%. So if you put this AR in him, it's 95% for curse, and everything else is guaranteed.
Hmm.
Wait, why is weapon change blow guaranteed?
It's 70%. So if you skill seed him and give him glint, because he already has 10% glint strengthening to himself. So that's 20% from glint, and then another 10% from skill
Oh.
seeds.
Oh, right. So it's actually 25% if you have glint. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, curse is 95%. That's the only one that's weird.
This is now the Licho discussion.
Yeah, so basically you have like a 90% curse to 95% curse. Wow,
It's terrible. But you know who can equip it? Gandalva 4. There you go. There's your gambler.
Yeah.
You actually did remind me, Mo, since you mentioned Kagutsuchi. This AR in general would just be good with anyone with after buff effects, where you're just giving them a shit ton of buffs and hoping they reroll for CP to self or some shit like that. And you know who actually gives glint among a bunch of other buffs? Yen and Shi. So this could actually be good with her partner. Not Kazuga because he can't equip it, but you know, anyone else that has an after buff effect, such as Loki or whatever. And yeah, other than that, I would also say if it's not guaranteeable, then the best case is for, you know, improving rates that aren't going to be guaranteed anyways are for tanks, since you're going to be surviving for multiple turns anyways and re-rolling multiple times. There's a few units that could equip it then. It's like Kana and Kijimuna, Oscar's 5-star, and Kusha's 5-star. Actually, not even could equip. I don't want to talk about just Kijimuna, I guess. But you might also want to consider bringing units in the team that could just give glint to everyone. So people know about Corporate Core. There's also Typhon now with a skill Evo with a turn 1 glint that lasts for 1 turn. But yeah, a few use cases for it, but they're not incredible either way.
Is this an excuse to go halfway on skill rate affiliation?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. You could do that. It's a way to get a decent discount to get the full 10%, I guess. So
On one
yeah.
person?
You still need glint anyways, so it's not even all that.
Yeah. So probably just invest in crafters or something like that, since usually they have some form of glint. Anyway, that's enough of this, so you're free to read out the chat.
Yowie hands.
Oh, right.
Thanks.
More yaoi hands.
I think this artist is new to like Housamo. I think they do like that Volker guy from like Eidos or something. I saw a lot of art about that dragon on his Twitter. But yeah. Kurogane has some flat Stanley-ish hands or something. Okay, where did we leave off? Burly farmers are cute. Hello, why? That's what makes it cute. He looks kind of cute. Okay. Kurogane and Nomad is better. Big hands. Bigger than his head. Lol, didn't even notice. Yeah, his hands are something else. That being said, I actually like the way Kurogane's face is drawn here. He actually looks pretty cute. Yeah. No. His head's a little too small.
Yeah.
Both of them are cute. Ephelcon can get to 95% crit with skill seeds, glint, and a secondary skill rate up buff, I guess.
Still not 100%, but sure. Just realized he kind of looks like he's wearing those novelty Hulk gloves. That's what this AR is, the Hulk AR. Okay, we can move on now to the next topic.
I like big ol' smiles. Okay, yeah. That's the last comment.
Thanks, Will. Okay, we will now be talking about the feat AR. Zalgus, tell everyone on stream how the old feat. Go ahead.
The feet or something. Right, so this AR, I'll complain about the art later. So it has two effects, both of them are related to arousal. The first is on move phase end, grant arousal to adjacent allies. So the arousal rate is atrocious, it's 30%, but it is at least on move phase end, and arousal doesn't need any AR level to actually be at full power to grant 10 CP per turn, so there's that at least. It can just be a free buff if you're lucky. The other effect is arousal strengthening to all allies and self when appearing, and it's just a 1.5 times damage multiplier. So it's kind of just a free damage multiplier in some teams, because arousal's fairly common, and generally when it does appear it's easy enough to apply, probably because it's a one-turn buff, but if you're not using someone with arousal on your team, you're going to have to rely on the move phase end arousal, which I wouldn't recommend that, because even if you maxed out, it'd be a 60% rate, which is awful. Don't max out this AR, please. There's no reason to. So some units who grant arousal would be Leonan, both Furufumis, Fashionista Wakan, Bigfoot, Summerlabe. The equipable limitations of fire, wood, water actually means that some of the guys who I just named can equip it too. So if you want that additional 1.5 times damage buff on some of those units who honestly are already support units, then it's there. So Leonan gives whoever's in front of her. Furufumi does it around. Summerlabe does was it adjacent or around? I forget. Ironically, despite being the focus of the AR, neither Tigre nor Tezcatlipoca can trigger arousal solo on any of their variants, so they suck at using it. It is self and all allies though, so that doesn't matter too much. You just need to bring someone else who can bestow arousal, not necessarily the one who's equipping it. So it's an okay AR. It's a potentially free, if minor damage buff. I wouldn't say it's worth trying to go for its effect, as in it's not really worth pulling for it just for the effect, because I don't think a 1.5 times multiplier is going to make the difference in a fight if you can't make it up with something else. But if you do have it, then you can probably build around it a little and get some extra damage out of it. So it's flexible enough in that respect. And yeah, the art. The art's terrible. This is Tigre's third AR, and the second one drawn by Yao, and Tigre's face is still hideous. if Yao could stop drawing those defined black lips on him, and I guess Tezcat, that'd be really great. I don't know what it is, because I've seen some of Yao's other art, and it's not as bad as Tigre has been. It'd also be cool if they stopped pairing him with Tezcat, because the two ARs with these two haven't even been that interesting. Also, yeah, the feet are done. There you go. I could comment more on that, but I think just calling them dumb is enough.
You know how Hombre Tigre's name translates to Tiger Man? Yeah,
Harvey,
just showing the man
did he
part.
shrink? You sound so far away, or you sound like you became tunified into an ant. What's up?
Okay, I was putting my mic away because I was eating something. But yeah, Hombre Tigre's name translates to literally Tiger Man, and this is showing that man part a lot because of the uncanny human feet that I keep getting reminded of. And I'm still mad that he didn't get paws, so
I mean,
I blame
Tez
Gamma for
kind of-
this.
Oh, you mean his original art? Yeah. I don't know why we don't get paw pads enough in this game. Instead, we get uncanny human hands and feet very often. Still triggered by the Labe AR from the last Jurassic one, where his hand looks kind of eerily human, with like black nails or something like that.
Yeah. I don't really care too much about this AR's effects. It's like nourishment tier, basically. But it's a nice pairing if you have the 3 guilds AR, because that gives you face start arousal for free. So there's that. I use it's like okay for the farm quests because if you're running the AR, but yeah. Not a whole lot to talk about here. It's just free damage if you have arousal, and that's it.
I think the damage sucks, and the rate of activation and the spread of activation innately also sucks. And the actual buff itself that's activating it also sucks and only lasts for 1 turn. So I think this is actually one of the worst 5-star ARs among the ones that boost your damage, if not the worst one. But I didn't get this AR, so I can just forget it after this banner passes, so I'll be fine. You can read out the comments, if you will, Saugus. And how much
Wait,
of it
did
must
Milk
be.
say anything?
No
Wait, did
milk.
Milk? I thought you talked already. Go ahead.
No. Apparently I was on mute. Are you sure you can forget it when you eventually pick a support with it and their CS
No.
jump scares you? Oh wait, you can skip CS effects now. Never mind. Yeah. Did we say Jamboree Kagutsuchi? There you go. There's
Has anyone actually seen this AR's animation? I think everyone's like crazy about the new speed update, but like I'm gonna be humored if it's actually like feet right during the animation.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen it myself, though, because of high speed, and also because no one on my... I mean, I haven't been looking, but I guess there's no reason for me to look, because there's no... The AR doesn't even grant extra bonus. Oh, I do have someone with it. Maybe I'll test that.
It does have extra bonus, I thought.
It's
I mean,
20%.
it's 20%, which is the
What's
same
it?
as everything else, so...
I thought like normal ARs was like 10%, but yeah. Was that not how it worked? Like
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he meant
yeah.
like between the 4
Well, I
and
meant-
5 stars, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bother looking. I've just been using Hephaestus. Just because he's higher up on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Okay, I'll give my actual thought. My actual thought is that, of course, Life Wonders gives the arousal effect to the feet AR.
No! Did he have to say that? I thought arousal made sense for these 2 units because they're all about, stoking the audience's interest, but now I can't get that out of my mind. Terrible milk.
Neither of them can even do arousal. at all.
Well, now they can.
Yeah.
I think Lucas AR
100%.
just... Okay, Zalgus.
Yeah.
Read out the chat. Was it Zalgus? Discovered this? It was Zalgus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course it's me. He gave everything Tigre related to me. Right. Feet. It definitely gives arousal. I will max out this AR. Please don't. The best duo. Real. I love this chaotic couple. I remember just seeing everyone in the Discord talking about the Feet AR before I even saw it and just being confused. I was not expecting it to be as in your face as I thought it would. Yeah, I heard about it preemptively and I was like, okay, well, I don't mind Feet, but I wasn't expecting it to be this ugly. The AR in general, that is. Oh no, the sandy souls are aiming for me. I saw it and I didn't even notice how much the feet stick out until others mentioned it. Really? It's literally the center point of the AR. They're kind of hard to miss, honestly.
A lot of detail in the
The
shading
feet-
too.
The feet are bigger than their heads. There you go. Triple heart paws. Those cat dog. These cats don't got no beans. No beans for Hombre Tigre. Yeah, they showed his human feet in his virtual summer memory variant. Someone on my friends list smacks this AR, but I don't know what the animation is. I'll test it in just a moment. Feet aren't that bad. I just ignore them. Yeah, that's all.
Feet aren't that bad.
Lots of
I like that
feet
comment.
defenders in the chat right now.
I know, it's like they're saying it without trying to be weird. Feet isn't that bad. But probably somewhere among them is like is salivating over this AR right now. Someone out there right now. I'm calling you out. Anyways, we'll move on to the last AR of this batch. Algernon and Tsukuyomi. Oh no, I'm covering this. Okay, so this AR, it has the effect of giving evasion to self at turn start if your HP is less than 50% at a 40% rate. It also gives you 2x advantage against charm when you attack them. So, of course, you'll want to maybe equip this AR on units that can decently reliably charm. You might want to equip it on the namesake unit of Tsukuyomi, rather his Kabukicho Night Festival variant, or his regular, I guess, too. You may also want to equip this on Shinya, since he does have that higher charm rate when his CP is higher. There's also Hephaestus, I believe he also does some charm thing, and Kusha has that 1 square charm at like a 90% rate, so it's pretty decent for him, at least for the 1 square if you want to use him for boss killing for whatever reason. And more recently, we also got the live streamer. If you actually want to play with their low rate charm memes, then you can do a bit of bonus damage with charm. Most charmers still have shaky rates though, so and they also require specific conditions or have very limited range. So even though this does have a 2x charm advantage, you probably do not want to use this AR for that charm advantage. You may want to use this AR on certain tanks though to just enhance their survivability, since the evasion rate is somewhat decent at a 40% rate. I know like reaching less than 50% HP is a bit difficult for regular battles, but when it comes to tanking and going several turns, it's inevitable. So there's a huge list of units you could bring. There's Horkeu, which we'll be talking about later in the stream. There's Tiendelos, who can also equip it very nicely with his protection, tenacity, and buff reversal. Fashionista Zavania, there's also Loki, Tunkara Mugen, Fosaslav, Daikoku, Dagon, Kusugan's Nightclothes variant, Ton Griesner, I don't know why I keep on bringing him up on streams, but yeah, you can equip this too. And Sasago and Gabriel. Yeah, that's just the full list of units that you can bring it on tanks, I guess. Forget the charm part, just bring it on tanks. You guys can add on to that, I'm done with that.
Can we really add on to it? There's not much to this, honestly. Just, yeah, bringing it on tanks is the ideal. Like, when else would you bring it? I mean, I guess you could bring it on pretty much anyone who you expect to get hit, but I don't know. I don't feel like the effect is so unique so as to enforce you to bring it on someone specific. Anyone would like to take less damage, or most people anyway. Unless I guess they want to go limit, but at that point they'll already be low health, so does the evasion really matter at that point?
Twink
It might be
Ryota in the background.
Twink Ryota? Oh,
I guess so, yeah.
is he there? Isn't that just Spencer?
I was gonna say,
That's a joke,
because
yeah.
he's got the jacket or blazer.
Yeah.
Is that Zoro in the background at the bottom?
Oh, he does kind of look like him. But it's nice. You're right. I forgot to comment on that, but it's nice they actually decided to give the mobs here some faces. Well, 2 of them at least.
I think Christmas Bushi, who consistently gets cucked with every like new change to the game, might be able to equip this AR so that you don't like die after you like, you know, get him into the low HP threshold.
Doesn't he already have cuts or something?
Yeah, but that's like face start.
Well, if you move him again after you move him once, then he's just gonna have 1 HP, and he won't benefit from evasion then.
But it'll heal back up with the CS, so poggers.
Sure.
Anyways, I mean, it's just like evasion, and it's like, I guess the only people who would want it are people who can naturally want to be in this low HP threshold range, which is him. I can think of the most. Yeah. Okay, this AR shit.
It's mediocre.
Double charm damage.
It's kind of funny. Now that we finally talked about these ARs, I didn't realize it, but I do think the 4-star ARs will get more usage than both 5-star ARs.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty clear just due to evasion pierce. Like, pretty much every person who like casually farms wants evasion pierce for that coin scuffle, even though I haven't done it for years.
So that's how you got ahead of me. I mean, you're always ahead in terms of rank. I'll catch up though.
Yeah.
What is wrong with Fence's hand in the background? I just realized he's got like a block of flesh.
Hands are hard to draw. Don't bully.
True. Also, Yaoi hands again, but it's Tsukuyomi, so expected.
It's expected. Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, I just tested the Tigre. Yes, it does in fact have feet in the CS effect.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. It's fucking.
Yeah. It's not what you expect though. Normally, it doesn't show you. It shows you as if it's footprints on the floor, and you're looking like you're not looking directly down on them. You're like looking at them from a distance. So like it shows a shot of the sky, and then as if the feet are landing on the floor. A distance in front of you.
This
so
is too much
also,
details.
It's also only
Just
two.
letting you know.
It's only 2 feet, not 4, which is mildly surprising. But yes, it does in fact have feet.
Thank you, Zolgas, for the feet essay. Alright, no one cares about this AR enough to add on to it?
Algernon's
can we
neck
move on?
looks weird.
You know what?
Oh my god, this is so good.
Ugh.
Did you see it?
Which part? Sorry.
In the chat for your server.
Wait, what's happening in my server? Oh no. What the heck? Oh, I see it.
Oh, that's the CS effect.
Yeah.
Why are we still talking about feet? Can we move on and talk about this AR already?
We already did.
What do you want to talk about here? How Tsukuyomi looks even worse somehow with that side view.
Ever.
Is this Moai again?
Why?
Actually, that does look like a pretty good Moai face. Alright, fine. You can read out the chat then if no one has anything else to say. this was my topic. I'm an idiot, so I'm gonna read out the chat. Alright. Let's see. Parry you weren't expecting. Surprise. There isn't a unit in this game with a foot fetish. Maybe we already do, but they are still closeted about it.
It's called Giant.
Giant / Daikoku, yeah. Cool senpais. They never even interact in Virtual Summer Memory or in any other story, so that's a very bizarre feature. Finally, HP boosted Christmas Fushi has use. I don't know about that. Christmas Fushi is getting, like, as Milk said, more and more cooked as the game goes on, with the stupid Guild Affiliation stat boost actually just making him unusable. Mouse in Moon Oni. Algernon drains his health every time he's buffed. You can really burn through most of it if you pump him full of buffs. I mean, it's not something you'll purposely aim for, and more of an inevitability. Yeah, it would be okay with Algernon, but it's like, then you'd be using Algernon for damage dealing, which I'm not sure if that's what you want to do. I mean, he's also got evasion on his charge, which, as well as more uptime if that's what you want to go for. Oh, okay, that's, if you like Algernon and he's like your only unit in the entire game, then I guess it'll be okay to use that AR with Algernon, so sure. Kudos to that. Third years at school. They certainly are. Okay, we'll now move on to some more interesting topics, because the ARs as of late, as pretty as they look, have not been able to keep up with either units or Evos. So, we'll now be talking about Algernon's Evo, first off. This is going to be covered by Harvey Kais. Go ahead.
Right. Summer Algernon gets a lot of text here. He gets a skill evolution for his Heavenly Sweeper skill. So its old skill was Dazzle at 80% and Charm at 30%. And neither of these rates really change in a Skivo, so it's all completely new stuff. So, he now pulls enemies towards him when appearing in all directions. So it's not just one square forward, he actually pulls enemies to the left and right of him towards himself. So, this is a pretty nice effect for his phase start flat damage, but do keep in mind that this is only for the first turn of the entire fight, so it won't keep happening after that turn. When he's stationary, he also applies Purification to adjacent allies at 90%, and phase start he removes all debuffs from himself at 90% as well. And we'll get into that later. But the most interesting part of his Evo is this global status that he puts on his allies and himself that increases their damage by 1.5% or 1.5 times if they don't hold any debuffs. So that's supposed to synergize with his Purification and his debuff removal for himself. This is an okay Skivo, I guess. It's more thematic since I guess he's a janitor and he's like cleaning debuffs off himself and your allies. But like, I guess if I had to compare this to a unit, but like, if you were using Smoky God's variant for Anchor Strengthening, but like, you wanted it to last more than 2 turns. I don't think this is going to be too much of a game changer. I don't think anyone's going to be really chasing for that Nourishment Tier buff from his global status. But I guess it's nice to have like a non-committal way of like reapplying Purification without having to move anyone. And I guess having more access to guaranteed pulls, even if it's just for 1 turn, is pretty nice. But other than that, he's still a very mediocre unit. But yeah, I don't have any unit recommendations or team recommendations because I would not use this unit.
Okay. Is that it then?
Yeah.
Alright, I can add on to that. I think if you're wanting board wide damage amps, and you don't have like any of the 5 stars, then Algernon's pretty good, honestly. What are the other 4 stars we have for it? There's like Yuma with tenacity strengthening at 3 times. So if you, it's better, but tenacity is a bit more restrictive than just having no debuffs at all. And is that it? Maybe. There's also Hombre, Tigre, which we'll get to, but that's like a non-buff at that point.
There's R19 with fucking acceleration strengthening or something. I don't know.
Wait, that
yeah,
was board
that's
wide.
2 times. Yeah,
I
that's board
completely
wide.
forgot about that, honestly.
And then there's the. Didn't we say like Smoky God already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Well, this is better than Smoke
So-
straight up, and that's restrictive.
You like the anger strengthening?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Yeah. I thought it might be like kind of funny to use Hecate with him because he's gonna like clear the debuffs that regular Hecate gives him, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be a good
I
idea.
thought about like pocketing Algernon with Hecate too, but it's like face start removal, so it's not gonna work out too well.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just a little annoyed that if you bring Algernon to the farming quest, his purification removes like Shennong's poison. If you like leave him alone.
It's like anti-synergy too
Yeah.
with his damage amp, because it won't work if you have
Yeah.
poison as well.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the wide quest, so yeah. I have very mild opinions about this Skivo. In the sense that I think it's like okay, it's just that I feel like it has a very slim chance of being meta just because of that first turn pull of like enemies, like in a farming context. Like somebody's just gonna like make some team with him during some like awful farming quest, and then he'll be like the solution to everybody's problem as be like, oh no.
Yeah,
You know what I
Algernon
mean?
seems well primed to just handle some kind of tall map grinding quest well. And he has damage technically, board wide amp technically. He has some utility technically, and he can move a bit of the randomness for the pull. So yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it's a little annoying that he could like just become meta, not really due to the 1.5x, but more so for that first turn pull.
All right.
Like,
Speaking of the 1.5 thing, you can use this with Vanilla Shiva if you wanted to. And
Oh
it's
my God.
technically
no.
a bigger
Don't tell RB.
it's technically a bigger damage amp than Seamerg. And he's another too, so he can equip the
No!
fucking Blossom Booster and Seed Booster.
oh, awful.
Let him stay dead. Stop bringing Shiva back from the grave.
Someone has to mention it.
No, Shiva is permanently resurrected with the UI update.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like his only downside that he could dunk on Shiva's dance for is gone.
I pretend I do not see.
How
Okay.
awful. When I saw the poll, the first thing I could only think of is how Boogeyman already did that. But I guess Algernon is ranged, so he can actually attack at range and deal damage. So I guess it's better in that respect. I feel like Algernon's Evo mainly the purification in the poll is like other people already do it better than he does, but I guess maybe having it on a effective or semi-effective ranged attacker is nice, because the other people who apply purification, like what's his face, Saratahiko, and I'm sure Barong, their range is trash, so they can't really attack at range, unlike Algernon. So it is nice to have purification on more units, because Barong and what do I keep forgetting the name? Saratahiko. Barong and Saratahiko both have to move to do it, and also Barong can only do it every 2 turns. So it is nice to have it on a maintenance-free. Well, besides not moving him, trigger, at least. But yeah, I'm not that impressed by it, honestly. Like, I didn't think he was that great a unit to begin with, so I don't think this really helps him out too much. So that's a shame.
He's always going to be irrelevant now for Shiva defenders, unfortunately. So that's just undisputed.
Yeah, but I don't care about Shiva though.
I want to tell Irby this just so that he has to bring Algernon now for his stupid teams. I can imagine now. He's gonna bring Fushi, Shiva, Algernon of all people, and then Ryota. And he has to deal with that. That'd be hilarious.
3 rats in 1 team. Can't believe it.
Okay, you can read it at the chat now, Hari.
Yay, the whole 4 comments, because people care so much about this unit. Yay, Shiva relevancy. Third year. This Skiva would be an okay bargain version of Fushi Kiruto, if you could get the purification without needing to be stationary. I guess. Cool cleaning service Cyborg Senior. Otherwise, any turn when debuffs make him useless while you're getting him in position. I'm actually really late with being able to run that combo with Shiva, so here's my excuse to use Algernon Diva with that.
Well, there you go. It's already happening in chat. He's becoming relevant for current teams.
Gross.
Alright.
I should have never brought it up.
Thank you for bringing it up. That's nice to know that these Evos aren't just nice, but then we forget about them, but people actually be using them after. So, well done, lifewonders, for bringing these kind of trash units, even on release, back to relevancy.
Oh right, I have one last comment to make about this non-debuff strain thing.
What's up?
I'm sure there's like some Break fan who is wondering, does this non-debuff strain thing overlap with Break 4's non-debuff strengthening? And it does, stack with regular Break's new non-debuff strengthening status. So there you go. Even though that they're the exact same effect.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
1.5
they're the exact same
I didn't
effects,
know that.
but
They just forgot and they made an
1.5.
exact same
yeah, so they do stack together. But yeah. So yes, you can use Summer Algernon with Break 4, and you'd get the 2.25.
Why would you do that?
The break meta is
Or
here.
you could just use another unit to just buff Break. Or feed him debuffs, or literally anything.
Do not question
The
his
same
methods.
also goes for... Okay, I'll just keep that in mind later. But yeah. If you happen to be a Break stan, and you're wondering about it, then yeah, it stacks.
Thank you, Moke, for that very obscure find. Alright, we will now move on to the next topic. This is going to be Yamasachihiko, covered by you. Look, me, Housamo. Go ahead.
So, I actually find this Skivo pretty good, even though the initial reactions to it in Samocord were rather underwhelming.
I thought it was
the
gonna be
main
good.
improvement. Yeah, I think the main improvement to the Yamasachihiko is that he starts off with base start concentration. So now he has a free 2.2 damage at 100% rate compared to his original variant. And then the second major improvement is that they improved his break effect so that now it's before hitting, according to the wiki. That is, like, break actually matters as part of the damage calculation instead of after hitting the unit. And it's now buffed at an 80% rate. So with concentration, Yamasachihiko is giving break to enemies at a 90% rate. So you still need skill sheets there, or like Glinter, for that extra skill rate, but yeah, Yamasachihiko is a bit better now. Yeah. The next thing is that he has some weird effects where he gets this when appearing gut strengthening, which increases his defense by 0.7x. This also ties into the fact that he actually gets this move phase end tenacity to self and allies directly adjacent to self at 90% rate. So it's going to be guaranteed with concentration from phase start. And this is kind of like fitting into Yamasachihiko's role as, well, it's supposed to be a tank, and it was very like understated in his original release, where he gave protection to allies, like around himself, basically, like next to him and in the slash range behind him. So, all in all, Yamasachihiko's skill evo basically like quintupled his damage. He gets like concentration, and his break is now like actually part of his damage calculation for his turn. And he's like a slightly better tank well, not slightly better, he's a better tank since he basically gets a free tenacity to himself and the entire team. And he has that meme gut strengthening at 0.7x. So yeah. What does this all mean? Damage calculation wise, as a shot unit, Yamasachihiko's doing 10.5k damage per square now, which is pretty good, I would say, because Otohime's force damage is 14.3k. So for a 4-star welfare unit, he's kind of getting there in terms of like shot range numbers. And if you decide to move him, Yamasachihiko, for the slash range damage, he deals 38k damage per square, which is pretty good when you compare it to like Summer Hephaestus, who's doing like 24k damage per square as a slash unit.
Is that with crit? Or
yeah.
Wow.
Hephaestus, yeah. So Yama's actually doing more damage than Hef on this banner now.
Winning.
Deserved.
Yeah. So basically, if you want a welfare unit, like I'm thinking of all this like contextually in terms of welfare units, like Yama's probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest welfare unit at the moment.
I think he's straight up the strongest welfare unit now.
Yeah. Okay. So there's some obvious synergies that Yama goes well with. The first one is Yuma because of tenacity strengthening, because Yama's tenacity is basically free tenacity. So if you pair him with Yuma 4, then everybody on the team can get a 3 times multiplier if you move him around right. The other thing that I would recommend to use with Yama is the single bulls AR, because now he has a bunch of like 1 turn effects due to tenacity, so he can like charge his CP decently since due to his like new status effects. So yeah. Was there anything else that I should say? His attraction effects didn't get changed, but I think it's kind of interesting to point out that he's now like a sort of capable damage dealer, but still has that pull effects to enemies. So maybe in some bizarre world we'll see him in some like farming team just because of that. But yeah, I think overall it's a very solid Evo for a welfare unit, and honestly it's probably, yeah, he's just pretty good right now, I think. And definitely a good pick for new players who are getting into the game for feed AR.
Yeah, I think his Evo is incredibly strong. You emphasize the damage quite nicely. He's just usable for anyone starting the game as a calm clear if they don't already have that, because we have a handful of ones from the past year, but a lot of them are limited. So Yama would be a good start for those people, and he could also do big damage if you decide to move him. Besides that, there's also the defensive aspect, which I would feel like I want to emphasize more. There's actually very few units that can give just constant defensive buffs for an uptime without you having to move them all the time.
Anything.
Sorry,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, without doing anything.
Yeah,
You can move him, you can like not move him. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
for
I
a
actually
star,
think he
in my
might be like one of the best tanks in the game, even if it's just like one defense buff now, or at least in combination with other units. If you remember, recently we got an Evo with Ganglia, who gives protection to self and allies as well at a large range, and the fact that he can also give self and allies, if you combine the two together, that's 2 defense buffs, neither of which you have to move at a guaranteeable rate. So I'm actually somewhat tempted to skill seed both Yama and Gangwei as a result now, just for that defensive aspect. And then you could just like have someone on the side, like a healer or whatever, like Ahab or Gabriel, who can reach both Gangwei and Yamasachihiko and healing themselves as well. It's a extremely potent defensive effect, I think. The only closest example we had before that and before Gangwei was like Yoshito, but that lasted for 4 turns only, and before he started burning himself and becoming unusable.
Daikoku.
Well, Daikoku doesn't really apply defensive to himself, and also he's Infernal type, right?
Yes, he does. We had this conversation before, didn't we? He does protect himself.
Not protection, I'm talking about defense up. It's like one of those two he doesn't apply to himself.
Okay, well, if you're talking about the defense up, then yes.
Yeah, I was talking about defense up. And he's also Infernal type, and yeah, I think this just is a lot cooler, I guess, because it's also not dependent really on positions too much as Daikoku, at least on the very start. Yeah, overall, I think it's a strong Evo defensively, but Milk's talking about defensively, so it's overall he kind of does a lot for any beginner player. Hopefully he enters on Friday shop after. We'll see though.
Yeah, I really like this Evo. No, I want to go first. Sorry.
Alright, go ahead.
I did always like Yamasachihiko from like a design standpoint. It's just that his kit just kind of wasn't very good. He couldn't deal damage very well unless he'd moved for his slash range, but then he has no range, and then he still can't take advantage of his own break until he CS's. So his kit always had a lot of problems, and this just fixes a lot of them. Like, I'm surprised, honestly, that they gave him both before hitting break and phase start concentration, which just fixes up a lot of his kit nicely. He can actually do damage now, and then they made him extremely tanky. Like, I was going to mention that, yeah, something like Tenacity on move phase end is ridiculous, because we pretty much do have no maintenance free stuff besides the ones you just mentioned, so it's very rare, and he's a free unit and he can do it, so it's great. I enjoy. Deserved.
Alright, you said you were gonna run him with Gangly for that protection for the double
Defense stack, yeah.
Yeah. But like Yama already has protection in his kit, doesn't he? At 70%.
He has to get hit, doesn't he?
Well, it's pretty easy for that to happen if he's like actually frontlining.
And protection isn't to himself either. Yeah, fuck that. Just get guaranteed protection from both Gangly and Yamasachihiko.
I think that Yamaskiva is very good. I think it's actually kind of insane that you want to skill seed him though.
I mean,
Just for like tanking, which isn't relevant to this game.
I know it seems irrelevant, but like I already skill seeded a bunch of damage units, and I feel like the only unit that I skill seeded defensively was Tangaroa, and I'm tired of those buff shuffling memes. So units that can be self-sufficient with their own buffs, defense buffs would be nice. But again, he's kind of mid-low priority for me. Essentially, he's in the same tier as Jambri Aizen in terms of how badly I want to skill seed him. And I wanted to skill seed Aizen the moment he came out, but I still haven't skill seeded him, so that tells you how much of a priority it really is in the end.
It's okay, Ara. We know you'll just want to skill seed him so that you can buff up Summer Pool Twilight Yamasachihiko.
No.
I think you should just skill seed the new Horkeu. Well, not new, but regular Horkeu and just be done with it.
Oh, yeah, honestly, he's probably higher priority now that I think about it. There's actually quite a few good Evos in this, so well done again, lifewonders.
No.
Well, maybe not.
Do
the next
Yama.
one. Okay. Did you say anything, by the way?
I mean, you think the next one's okay?
You already said your thoughts, right,
Three?
Harvey?
Yeah.
All right. We'll move on to the last Evo of this batch, anyways. This is going to be Hombre Tigre.
What about the comments?
Oh right, no, I'm losing my game. The one comment. Can you please read the one comment?
Is it straight man jump scare?
Yeah, that's pretty. Guys, please wake up. His Evo is actually really hype. I know he's boring and straight, and but like his Evo is really good. I swear to God. I promise you, invest in him, even if you don't. Alright, fine, we're moving on.
Of course, the heterosexual is taking center stage.
I mean, he's generically attractive. So
The heterophobia is real.
maybe-
Chat hates him despite his busted kid.
Maybe it is just that. Actually, it
Probably.
probably is just that, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's also
Oh,
just.
wait, there's a comment. Two comments.
Oh my
even.
god.
Okay, Milk, go.
Oh, I actually kind of glossed over Yama's Evo. Might have blanked out, but did you mention Yuma's tenacity strengthening?
That was the first
I
thing
did,
mentioned.
in fact. Yeah. Yeah, so... yeah, use Yuma with them.
Okay, not gonna read the other ones? Sure, we can move on if you don't want to read them.
Oh, there's one more. I don't care about defensive play, I have like 6 reliable board nuker.
High difficulty quests, though.
Yeah, I think it's just more so that, like, you know, he's a welfare unit, so...
This is what Astaroth and Astarte should have gotten.
Sorry,
Oh my
but
god.
the good Evos only began like a few months ago.
Wait,
I'll never not be mad about that.
I'm
yeah.
gonna look up Astaroth.
It's
It was
just
just-
arousal.
It was just arousal. Literally just arousal.
It's gonna work with
Don't
the
they get
new
better healing?
arousal strengthening AR.
Yeah,
They can't even
I
equip
figured.
it, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, they can't.
Just equip it
'cause
with something
it's
else,
fire,
there.
wood, water. Yeah, you
They
can,
got-
but...
They also get face start healing. That's nice.
None of those even synergize with Astaroth's or Astarte's purpose. Astarte's supposed to be blowing them up, not
Zelgus,
badly buffing her team.
Zelgus, it is time to calm down and talk about Hombre Tigre to
Okay.
feel the joy in your life again.
Amigo. Right, so, Tigre's Evo. This gives him an additional role as a team damage buffer while also improving his own damage. So we'll talk about the less interesting part first. He has Phase Start Glint, which bumps up some of his rates. The important part is that his Guts is 50% at base. With his Taunt Strengthening, which is 30% to his rates, that's 80%, and with Glint and Skill Seeds, that Guts can become 100% without help from someone else, at least for 2 turns. Without skill seeds, it's only 90%, but still, it's not something you want to fail. So you take everything you can get for his Guts. So he has move phase end limit to allies in a 2 square diamond radius. So this is both good and bad. It's on the best trigger timing, and limit is great, but the base rate is atrocious. It's 30%. With Taunt, that becomes 60, and with Glint, that makes 70. So I guess that matches his own base limit, I guess, even though that becomes 100%. As a one-turn buff, you really don't want Limit to be failing, so it's ridiculous how unreliable this is. It's really bad. You would need, like, concentration and prayer and skill seeds to guarantee it, which is probably entirely too much effort, or I guess guild affiliations. So yeah, it's a good buff on a good skill trigger timing, but the rate is absolutely ass, so that sucks. I don't know why they made it so low. But anyway, the Well,
I'll add on after. It's fine. Sorry.
Anyway, the more interesting part of Tigre's Evo is his unique buff. Every turn start, depending on the range of Tigre's HP, he will grant a different damage buff to himself and allies globally at a 100% rate. At full HP, this is a 1.2 times buff. Between 50 and 100% HP is a 1.5 times buff. Between 5 and 50% HP is a 2 times buff, and below 5% is a 3 times damage buff. So essentially this is a global limit based on Tigre's HP. It goes well with Tigre's entire gimmick, which was just to gut spam at the front line and never die. If you can get Tigre to 1 HP quickly, and he keeps himself alive after that, then you've got a nice global damage buffer. 3 times is a pretty good amount. And for Tigre himself, he'll be at 1 HP, so he'll be gaining both full power limit and his own buff for a combined 12 times damage buff on his own. And he can hit pretty hard with no assistance like this. He deals 56.5k on his blow and 186k with his base level CS. For his allies who probably aren't going to be at 1 HP, they'll just get a 6 times damage buff, assuming his terrible limit actually procs, which is still quite a lot, considering Tigre doesn't actually have to move. They just have to be within a 2 square diamond radius for him to get the limit. So I think it's a nice way to bolster Tigre's old gimmick of gut spamming. It gives him a new role, but it still adheres to his old one and doesn't like radically change it. Now, it's not an Evo that will help for stuff like farming or anything, unless you want a global 1.2 times damage buff, and maybe the limit, but the limit isn't easily guaranteeable, so that sounds like a terrible idea. If we had units who could quickly reduce Tigre's HP to low HP, that would work, but at a level 65 Tigre with no seeds, you would need to deal over 6,000 damage to him to actually get him to his 3 times damage multiplier. Even someone like Nightglow's Cthulhu can't deal that much damage without a ton of setup. Cthulhu deals 1k flat damage to adjacent allies for each enemy he hits, but he also pushes them away, and Tigre isn't immune to knockback, so you'd need to set up some ridiculous setup that like gives Tigre anchor, or an ally blocks him in so he takes all the flat damage, but even still that'd be 5k damage at max without combo, which isn't enough. So yeah, it's really impractical to even try and consider trying to get Tigre's 3 times bonus without just allowing the enemy a turn to hit him. In the end, I think it's a good enough Evo, but if you're going by the standards of can this help farm quests, it's not useful for that. In high difficulty quests, or maybe even select grind quests, maybe if we do end up having to take like flat damage or something in future. Yeah, if you can actually let Tigre get hit, and you can get him low health, you can actually take advantage of it for potentially pretty fat damage stacks. So I like the Evo. I think it's thematically appropriate as well, because he's supposed to be, you know, the face wrestler, the crowd pleaser who makes a heroic second wind, and then the crowd goes wild and everyone gets fired up and, you know, starts dealing a ton of damage, or in this case his team, I guess. So yeah, I think it's thematically appropriate, and I think it's got some uses, even if it's maybe not useful for grind quests, but you know, can't evaluate everything by grind quests. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm guessing you didn't read Virtual Summoner Memory yet.
No, I did not. In fact, you advised me not to.
Well, you know, like the reason why I told you is because it's pretty much just reiterating on Chapter 10's plot points. But it's thematically relevant, yes, but even more so than what you described. It's Hombre Tigre, you know, trying to get as close to the suns as possible and meet up with Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca. And essentially, you know, Shennong's always like, oh, don't sacrifice yourself, but Hombre keeps on trying to sacrifice himself and gets closer to that intensity. And that's why it seems he benefits from playing as risky as possible, lowering his HP as well as his allies, so that they benefit from both limit as well as that unique status effect. So I think it's very thematically appropriate, and it would work with a certain team playstyle. Not any team playstyle, but a team playstyle that is flexible enough that would probably work with any high difficulty quest. Your traditional guts limit type. Hombre Tigre's guts by himself is probably not something you want to fully rely on, but if you do want to rely on that, I guess bring a CP battery to help him get his charge and his taunt up more. We don't really have any other taunt bestowers that often, so that's really just your best option. Other than that, you could also just bring other units that can reduce HP as well as apply guts. You mentioned Nightglow's Cthulhu, and I just remembered that he actually does apply guts to everyone too, every time he hits enemies. So that's a good way to reroll for that and bring everyone low while also just amplifying that damage even further.
But he pushes them all away, so you need some way to keep them in place. Otherwise, they're only going to take 1k damage, which isn't enough.
I don't know, just figure out some sturdy unit that can bestow anchor or some shit.
It's called Smoky God, but which I did try, and yes, it does work, but it's stupid.
I mean, Smoky God incidentally also synergizes quite well with his guaranteeable guts. I'm talking about Summer.
I don't know. It's
Smoky God.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was talking about. I don't know. It's just a lot of effort to set up, but I don't know. I don't have Nightglow's Cthulhu anyway, so
Just use the agent mob to put taunt on him.
Why is it that every single time someone says just use, something awful is about to come out? No.
because it's ironic.
Yeah, okay.
I did very briefly think about the agent because they can bestow taunt to Tigre, but he shouldn't really need that in an ideal setting since he should be getting a decent flow of CP to CS and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I enjoyed using Hiskivo with Summerlabe because Summerlabe CS just keeps the two of them going even with it at 1 HP. And they also benefit quite well from limit and the 3 times multiplier thing. So they can actually parry clear a lot of difficult quests.
Oh yeah, weren't wasn't Mura and a few other people showing off like Labe solos because of how ridiculous his guts is? Hombre Tigre would just be the perfect tethered unit to him, since they'd be super low and also both benefit from that damage amp.
Yeah.
I did last event. I did actually briefly use Summerlabe for when I was doing some preliminary testing for one of the high difficulty quests, and it was funny because he was the only one. At the end, he was the only one alive, and he just kept CSing every single turn and gutsing himself. It was very ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
I don't know why he's allowed to do that.
Over 100 turns with his Labe clears, which sure, you do you. Milk.
But yeah, Hombre Tigre kind of makes that playstyle a lot more viable, just because it is a lot of damage if you get limit off. But also, a 3 times multiplier is like never unwelcome. So yeah.
Yeah. Milk. Any other thoughts?
Did the Snow Melusine AR get mentioned yet?
I don't think any ARs have really been mentioned with this.
Okay. Well, do you remember there was that Snow Melusine AR in their
Is it the
Christmas?
one that deals flat damage to everyone?
Yeah. It's at a turn start 100% rate. Yeah. Use that to get the free 1.5x.
I guess that would be an
Summer
easier to get
Algernon tier buff.
I mean, if you don't have options, you gotta make do.
Yeah, I guess that would work. Yes, I didn't even really think about that. There are some other units who can do like flat damage. Like there's like Leonan, there's Kirito. I briefly thought about Smoky God for Countdown, but that takes too long because that takes like 7 turns or something. But yeah, I don't know. Allies who can kill other allies are surprisingly in low supply, but oh well.
Well, it could also just be like poison. Or like any flat damage effect too.
As long as you don't HP see them.
Like
it
Jen
might work,
doesn't really. Yeah.
This is a problem I have, unfortunately, but oh well.
You can also use Tezcatlipoca if you move him and bail. So there you go.
I actually forgot he did that, but sure. Alright.
I
I
don't know.
guess
we need someone who can really inflict a ton of flat damage on him. Or I guess you could combine many sources, but I feel like you'd be having a very discordant team at that point if you're just focusing on trying to kill Tigre.
I mean, it's a nice pairing with like fucking Nyclos Cthulhu. Because he already gives guts to the entire board. So that's some good uptake for him. But yeah. That's like the only...
He also doesn't have limit, so yeah, it would be a good pair if you could manage to. Actually, is there a AR which grants knockback resistance besides the Leviathan one?
I mean, like other than Anchor too.
Or as long as Tigre can equip it, it's fine. Since I just want him not to get knocked back by Cthulhu.
Let me go look it up.
Well, I guess
don't think
Cthulhu
so.
can equip the fucking Babe Bunyan Vapula AR. But that's a very shitty anchor trigger.
So yeah, just use that.
I'll
and you'll be
pass on
set.
that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I feel like I would have remembered it in my mind, other than the Leviathan one, if there wasn't something, an AR without effect.
Oh my god, you can use Tianzun in that team.
Exactly! The Tianzin Nyclos Kasuga synergy. That's why he's better than
No, actually,
secretly.
actually he does have one. It's the Benton Ager AR.
Oh, right. I don't think he... Can he up that? Can he up that? Maybe he can, actually, because he's blow range.
Yeah, he's low. Yeah,
Hey, there
that's
you
why
go.
Echo can equip it.
No, I don't have that.
Time for you to pull
Well,
back.
I don't have Cthulhu anyway, so. But yeah, you're really more likely to just let Tigre get hit in the face to get his damage buff. But I don't know, maybe there'll be some random team where you have Cthulhu kill him instead and still get the 3 turn clear or 1 turn clears. I don't know.
Sure.
Alright, I think that's it for this unit.
Yeah, you can read up the chat now, Telgus.
Okay. Yama is really cute and the best big bro. Finally, Hombre's armpit hair came back. Yes, very good. I approve. I like Yamasachihiko better than Hombre Tigre after the event. I haven't read it, so I can't comment, but no.
You're not gonna read out the
I've
Hombre
always-
slander?
No, I don't know why I missed that. Hombre Tigre, boo, boo, tomato. I've always liked Hombre's gimmicks, so I'm happy his Evo's solid. Just wish we got more high difficulty quests like survive for X turns that would let him shine a bit more. Yeah, he would definitely work for those since you're pretty much required to take damage in that case. No, nice armpit hair though from someone different who said it the first time. Hot Tiger. I wish this Skeevo blocked skill locking abilities because those still shut him down. I mean, those shut down anyone, so.
Labor
If
like
you
that.
run him with the new Summer Algernon with Purification, now you have a way to counter that. So there you go.
Oh well, I guess if it happens before he even gives himself guts, then I guess it would stop him, but honestly, those sorts of situations are far and few between. So, in between.
Okay, we are now done talking about the Virtual Summer Memory Evos. We'll actually be talking about the Evos that recently released directly before the event, though. Starting off with Israfil. What do you think about the better Zibania? I know I've made this joke a million times, but I'm going to keep on saying that. So, you're up, Milk.
This skill Evo is kind of like mid in the sense that none of like Israfil's like farming utility got improved, but it did fix his like awful gimmick of getting weakness before being hit. basically. Okay, so let's get into it. So basically, his like profiteer skill, none of that improved like in like rates or anything. So what's new is that he can give doubt to enemies on the first turn of each phase in that like 3x3 square in front of him at 100% rate. So that's pretty nice. Farming wise, that doesn't really do anything because doubt doesn't decrease defense. Yeah, what else is there? And then the next effect, which is a little more important, is that he gives evasion to himself when his HP is 100% at move phase end. So this is the part which basically fixes his like weakness stuff, because now he doesn't just die instantly from an enemy attacking him. And he can like fairly like easily reduce the damage to him and his allies due to the fact that he also gave doubt on the first turn. And the last effect kind of like helps with sort of keeping him at 100% in the sense that he steals like HP from the enemies at a turn start every 4th turn or so, board wide. So he can potentially heal back a lot of HP. So yeah, that's basically Israfil. He basically patches up the weakness with this like evasion. You just have to make sure that he's like at 100% HP so that he still doesn't die instantly. So you might want to watch out for effects like, I don't know, Hasters like Stigma and Poison, so that something like that doesn't happen to him. I called it mid though because his farming utility didn't change at all. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Actually, I'll let someone else go ahead. I feel like I've been speaking first this entire time. How rude of me. You guys, whoever can go first. Milk or Telgus.
You mean Harvey?
Yes. Sorry.
It's happening
No,
again.
that does not harm mind. Okay, go ahead.
I thought a really funny synergy was like abusing that one turn of like free evasion with like Halloween as a thought, just so you can like tank a bunch of hits for no reason whatsoever, and then like never again. But like if he can keep doing it if you like apply any region effect, because unlike Tianzun, you can actually give him healing buffs. So yeah, when paired with the move phase and evasion, that's actually like he becomes a lot harder to kill. So that's nice.
I think he might be like very annoying as an enemy to kill if he had that Skeevo, but I don't think enemies have Skeevos. But could be wrong.
Maybe we should put that in as feedback if they ever do another survey. Please give enemies skill evos.
They generally have their evos nowadays when it comes to challenge quests. But for like grind quests, they kind of conveniently forgot them out sometimes. Understandably, you don't want to be skill locked while hitting fucking Maria of all people.
Can you fucking imagine killing Christine and then she just like wipes all your buffs?
Terrible.
Shiva stands don't care.
Well, Shiva stands don't exist.
Harvey's right.
So
Shiva has already erased them. This Evo is okay, I guess. I mean, it was a problem that Israfil would just kind of blow up the moment anyone touched him because of his silly weakness thing. So I guess it is nice that he does, he can't be killed on turn 1 anymore. Well, unless he like gets flat damaged by someone before that somehow, or they remove his evasion or something. But that is nice, I guess. But otherwise, it's not exceptionally interesting. It doesn't really change too much. It just makes him tankier.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you have to like watch out for the people that you want to pair with the people we just talked about with Hombre Tigre. Like, you can't use Yoritomo or something with Israfil if you care about that evasion effect. So yeah.
Kirito stabs Israfil in the back and then he blows up.
Is this story spoilers I hear of?
I don't know.
My thoughts are kind of brief, but just to emphasize what Milk mentioned a bit in passing. I mean, yeah, he'll survive for one turn, and it doesn't affect his grinding utility whatsoever. But he's also like, it's a pretty good new utility if you just heal him the bare minimum, because he won't have full HP when he's hit, but it takes like next to nothing to heal him back to 100 HP after, or 100% rather. You can just use fucking Blessing from Tianjin or Maria, or Regeneration from Ellie's Night Festival variant, or Maria again, or Shillotl. You can also even use Nourishment of all things to fully heal him, and he'll just be unkillable, unless someone has Evasion Pierce, in which case you're just kind of screwed. But if they don't, then Israfil might actually be a good meme with very minimal effort to set up as something unkillable.
Of course, you had mentioned Nourishment. Well, that buff has so much healing.
No!
Especially, he must be an amazing pair with Summer Boogeyman's 60% Nourishment as
you
well.
can shut up now. Jeez. Alright, I think that's it for this topic. So, this hot topic, rather. What do you think? Or can you read out the chat, Milk?
Okay, let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, where did we leave off? Hot Tiger. From Class Cannon debuffer with 2 low damage, now just debuffer. Zab Alter. Shiva stance destroyed for impure thoughts. He has self-protection now. Woo. Shadow the Hedgehog Clum member. The evasion is nice, but any damaging debuff screws him out of that. Well, you can kind of get around with it with turn start, CP. I mean, turn start healing or something. But yeah.
Or even on move healing, since that would prioritize his idle effects for evasion. You could use.
You say idle effects? You mean Gabriel, right?
No, idling. But incidentally, Gabriel would work as a healer that would heal him on move before he gets his evasion. You could also use Jadbavan, everyone's favorite bear. Anyways.
I was gonna suggest the HP loss reversal AR, but you can't equip it. I keep forgetting that he's not in Invaders for whatever reason. He's stuck with that stupid Sphinx guild.
He could benefit from it if there was flat damage like that, but it's not like he's too low, so it implies flat damage himself. So it's still a different consideration. It won't always work out. Anyway, we can move on to Kushi now. So this will be covered by Zalgus. Go ahead. Talk about this cute dog.
Kushi. Runny nose. I don't know what it bothers me. Anyway. So he has a slight boost to his regeneration rate, which is whatever, I guess. It was 70% and it's still not guaranteed. It's 8%. I don't know why they even bothered, but why not? So he has a 3-turn rotation of debuffs and 1 buff that are all mutually exclusive. So I'll talk about the debuffs first. On move phase end, he will apply 1 of 3 debuffs in a 3x3 range in front of himself. Turn 1 is Stigma, turn 2 is Confusion, and turn 3 is Madness. It's a 90% rate, so it's nice and reliable. And on turn 3, grant evasion to self and inflict evasion resistance in a 3x3 on move. I don't know why that exists, but talk more about that later. So being able to inflict his debuffs is without moving is quite nice. Confusion and Madness together will essentially just freeze an enemy in place. And even without immobilizing them, it becomes very easy to kite enemies once they're inflicted with either Confusion or Madness. And the 3x3 range means that with good positioning, Kushi can kite any enemy range. Besides all he has to do is stand in the right spot. Now, it is nice to be able to inflict these effects without moving or attacking, but the problem is that it's on a clock, and thus it is inherently slow to take advantage of. Generally, when you want to stun a unit, you want to do it right now, or immediately. Like, you want to fear someone turn 1, but Kushi has to wait until turn 2 or 3, depending on the enemy weapon range that you're looking to stun, to get the effect that you actually want. Like, it's no good inflicting the whichever one stops horizontal movement on like a snipe unit and or a slash unit, and you're still in range of them. Or, you know, conversely, maybe you want his stigma, and you can inflict that on turn 1, sure, but once you clear phase 1, you're not going to be able to do it on phase 2. And you'll have to wait the entire clock to get that effect again. So, being on a clock like this just really makes it hard to get reliable usage out of it, in my opinion. There's going to be times where you want to immobilize someone, or you want to reduce their defense, and the clock will just not be in the right spot. And yeah, the confusion and madness being turns 2 and 3 really suck, because personally I think you would want to stop the enemy quicker. Well, maybe you just want to kill them first, but either way, being on a clock at all makes it hard to take advantage of. Now, his evasion, I feel like his evasion is a bit out of place. He only gets his evasion on turn 3, by which time he's already probably been hit a lot. And the evasion negation is nice, but I feel like it's a bit discordant with the rest of his effects. I don't quite understand how exactly it's supposed to synergize, but it's nice to get rid of evasion, I guess. I think it also only applies on turn 3, though. Are they packaged together? So he can only inflict evasion resistance on turn 3? I don't actually have him, so I couldn't test it.
Yeah, they are.
It says they are.
Okay, so yeah, in that case, he can't even negate evasion until turn 3, which is probably not what you want to do. Faff about with the enemy evasion for 3 turns, or 2 turns, I guess. Yeah, so I think it's an okay Evo, but it's held back a lot by the clock. It's just difficult to make use of, and I can't see how you really would more effectively get use out of it. Also, resistance to paralysis, I guess. Sure. Yeah. I didn't really have too many thoughts on this, honestly, but someone else can go ahead now.
Yeah, it's kind of a strange Evo. I don't really understand Life Wonders' thought process. Maybe they looked at Tindos and said, okay, let's make Kushi a werewolf or something. And make him counter Tindo's evasion and get Tindo's evasion himself. I don't understand the paralysis thing at all. Why? I guess it's fine though. Sure. Maybe we needed to counter that level 70 Jurassic Summer Vacation CQ is still up. Yeah, the clock is kind of a problem, and I think it's okay. I always thought Kushi was already an okay unit if you wanted to care about countdown and have the tenacity for protecting allies and stuff. What else do we have? Right. Kushi has the Ueno Beast Tamers Guild, so I guess Beast Tamer stands can be happy with that. Or that Kushi YouTuber stan keeps using him, even though he pulls out some busted unit to pair with him, like Dagon.
I think I actually saw him make a video recently once Kushi got his Evo, but then I don't even remember them using it in particular for anything effective.
Yeah.
It was essentially
because it's
just
always
countdown him.
he pairs him with some, obviously stronger unit. But Kushi also has stuff like in his own right, so it's not that drastic.
I mean, to be fair, he legitimately used them for his own kits a few times by now. Especially that countdown stuff. He's still one of the strongest
I guess
countdown
he's
units.
just forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
I
Milk
can see that.
I know that Milk mentioned that Beast Tamer stands would be happy with this Kiva, but the Kiva's like if you put Hasher and Alp's kits together and like made it infinitely worse. Because
I meant like Beast Tamer stands who don't really care about gameplay.
So most
Just
Okay.
want to
Beast
see
Tamer
their
fans.
like
Gotcha.
yellow dog do more. Yeah. Like normal, or I guess common.
Milk really struggling to use a synonym for plebeian without saying plebeian.
filthy casuals. Yeah, I don't really like this Skivo. I don't think it will ever really make it. I don't know. I think this fucking debuff clock is just kind of awful to play around. And I think if you wanted to play around something like that, you would just use Gyobu 4.
You wouldn't use Gyobu forever. What the heck?
Yeah, but
I'd
he's
rather
hotter,
use
so
Kuchi.
I would use them.
What?
Well,
Well,
no.
Well, in my
You-
opinion.
Yeah, I saw your. I remember your tier list. Your questionable
What?
tastes in the top,
No,
but
Kuchi's good.
yeah, I think the only interesting part about this Skiva is probably like the turn 3 evasion gimmick, but it's also like evasion piercing every 3 turns is like, huh? Yeah.
I like
Exactly.
I like to think of it as everything here, well, maybe except for, well, maybe even that. Everything here already adds to his existing gameplay style, even if it seems strange from the outset. Like, regeneration improved, of course, is obvious how it's just improving straight up. But he's a tank, right? You move him, he gets tenacity, he gives tenacity to his allies. So, even if evasion only every third turn is a bit weird, it'll reduce damage significantly by like a third. Because if you're playing with tanks, it's presumably going to last for several turns. You're not going to be grinding with Kushi before this even, you're not going to be grinding him with it after. But for the existing role of him just spamming his movement defensively while debilitating the enemy with a debuff such as Countdown, now he can actually do other things besides inflict Countdown too, and inflict a new debuff every turn. And I think that a turn out counter like that, a clock, works better for tankier units who actually have the expected outcome to survive for several turns. Same thing for the evasion resistance. It seems a bit strange because that's just something you normally think is for grinding, but I just think of it as a debuff, even though it's the game registers as a buff. But it's a debuff, and so it's just added on top of everything else, and I think it works out fine. And the paralysis thing, it doesn't really make sense in terms of lore or anything, but there's a few units that are like move slots that have like partial resistance to some movement disabling debuffs, such as Valentine Kenko. I kind of see it as the same thing for Kushi, since he's a bit of a move slot too with his regeneration and tenacity.
The paralysis resistance is actually foreshadowing for a new unit that will be his rival. So, watch out for that.
Harvey, your brain is expanding too much. Alright. Anyways, all in all, I think it's adding on to what he already does, so it's not that bad. And since Kushi was already not that bad of a unit to begin with. You can read out the chat now, Zalgus, if no one else has anything to say about this unit.
Okay. Cute, chubby, fairy death puppy. Fun-loving dog buddy. At least they finally gave him a proper role as a debuffer. Proper. And if anything, he can still get a Skiba for his first skill. I mean, I thought Countdown spam was perfectly good already, since Countdown is, a pretty powerful effect. If anything, I think his Countdown is still better than his other things, because he can do it at will. Well, mostly at will. Oh yeah, and Crybaby. The Paralysis is just there for a layer of protection against movement restricting debuffs. I mean, yeah, but well then why not also Resistance versus Fear and well I guess Fear wouldn't be appropriate in this case. But you know, like Break or whatever. It'd be nice if Kuchi had a advantage against his new status effects, because otherwise there isn't a whole lot of usable team members to take advantage of these effects past turn 1.
Just
aren't there?
move
I mean,
Halloween Alice beside him. There you go.
I mean, everyone can take advantage of Stigma, and there's like Babe Bunyan for confusion. Or I guess not many, but I mean, everyone wants to take advantage of Stigma, and everyone would like if they could just fire on someone who can't retaliate. So, yeah.
Kirito.
Yes, there's just like 4-star Nyal for Madness and S-Babe for Confusion, not counting Kirito and B Volos. Why not?
I mean, incidentally, those units would be okay. I'm not gonna say that, never mind. Jurong would be okay with them though, just because 4 debuffs is 2 refreshes. Somewhat impressive, even though Countdown kind of deletes everything anyways.
Fey Church Grim. I think Grim refers to a ghost dog that protects Graveyard. Thank you. Refresh debuff. Yes, Jurong would work fine with him, as he would essentially kind of render the whole clock gimmick pointless, because there's no reason for him to continue rotating afterwards. It just slows him down even more, which is really my main problem with the Evo, but whatever.
Is that it?
That's all.
Okay. We will now be talking about the bait of this discussion. Finally, we'll be talking about everyone's favorite husband / cum dump. Take it away, Harvey. Horkeu Kamui.
Right. Horkeu got a new Skeevo, like 2 patches ago. And this shit is, like, kind of stupid. So, back then, everyone kind of already knew that Horkeu is really good at being this frontlining tank that could protect your team with a bunch of healing and debuff mitigation. And he was already good at that niche. And he was kind of like top tier as like a defensive unit. Like even after like we got shit like Summer Tindalos. Now he gets the Skeevo that doubles his when hit vigor proc rate, and also makes him bestow vigor on appearance to the entire board for some reason. On top of this, he gets turn start crit plus to the ally behind him at 90% rate, and after moving, he gives crit to units to the left and right of him at 80%. And if that wasn't enough, he also gets this skirmishing skill where when he's hit, he applies freeze at a 50% rate. So, yeah, this is like a shit ton of multipliers on a single unit. Vigor, crit, plus, and crit is like, what, 50%? Or 50 times multiplier, or around that?
It's almost 50 times, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So now you have this like frontliner who can just kind of do basically everything in the game. He can supply your backline with, or not even your backline. Because of his movement thing being like to left and right, he can also like buff basically anyone to do a shit ton of damage, while also protecting nearby allies and healing them, and also having that debuff mitigation shit. So, yeah, if you're using him as like a farm unit, you want to take advantage of that vigor while you can, because it will only last 2 turns. So his best pairing will probably be shit like board ripers who don't want to move, like Oscar or Christmas Benson. But like, yeah, if you combine all of his multipliers together, like with the freeze and shit, it's like over 100 times the regular damage, which is really fucking stupid since it's all in one unit. And like, yeah, it's not even like super common buffs too. You still have space for like an Ardor bot and like limit and shit. So yeah, that's all of my thoughts on this unit. Really, it's really dumb.
If you suck at this game, just bring Horkeu Kamui. There you go.
I guess that's all that needs to be said.
Pretty much.
The just having the crit plus and the vigor alone is like ludicrous. Like you don't even really need to. I'm surprised they put the crit plus on the one that you can kind of more easily take advantage of, because it's, you know, you don't need to move Horkeu for it. I guess I would have thought they would have changed it around, but as in the crit on turn start and you have to move for the crit plus, but oh well. I guess they didn't want to give crit plus to multiple people, but at the same time I don't really know if that's what they were really planning around. But yeah, it's just a ridiculous amount of damage that is very easily accessible, so I don't know why they gave him such a powerful offensive buff, considering he was kind of a more defensive unit before, and he was perfectly fine, so. But there it is, I guess.
Who is the Horkeu stan on Life Wonders team? Dude is ridiculous. Why'd they make this shit?
I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't understand these buffs if they're like lower right, because he's a tank, right? But they're like guaranteeable or next to guaranteeable, and they stack with each other easily. And it's like, he's not just a tank anymore. He does everything.
Yeah, I'm like kind of mad because his fucking Skeevo text length is like larger than like OG Labes kit. Like he
larger
got
than OG Labe Skeevo.
Yeah, he fucking got 2 Skeevos already. And Labe is still suffering. Like, we have to pretend that his summer variant is his Skeevo. So sad.
Well, I'm glad I got him. I don't know, it's just barely anything to talk about because there's no nuance to it. It's just really, really, really fucking good.
I can take one solace, and that is he has no horizontal movement. So he's not as good as parrying as he could be.
Yeah.
But even so,
he's still gonna be used for grinding because of the board wipe buff either way.
Yeah.
Which is like the only reason why you want to extend movement anyways, for grinding. Cool game.
Stupid unit. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do we leave off? What a god tier buff, from tank to all-around support. Oh, I did forgot Horkeu was here. Like, this is a jump scare. He blended in too well. Maybe I should have rolled for his ohms and alt. Imagine what they might give him. By the way, Kamui is the best last turn support now if you're using an infinite range unit.
Don't get us wrong, he still has better board-wide buffers. We have better choices than him. But the fact that he can is still like, when he has everything else, really?
I think they're talking about like the trigger timings, meaning you can slot him in like a later slot and not miss out on anything.
No, that's generally the case for board-wide buffers, unless you're like leaked or something.
Horkeu is like flex tape. Just slap on any team, and there you go. The closest thing I have to a complaint about this is moving a unit with no movement expansion, but it's not like X-Ben or Oscar are gonna turn a free double crit. Yeah. I have him. Good for me, I guess. He's getting a figure, so clearly all of LW are his stance. Yeah. Where's fucking Moritaka's Givo?
You got
Why did...
non-debuff strengthening. Wow.
Yuck. I had this version of Horkeu on an old account. Where Lapes gave you. It's so true. Does Mugumakon work with this crit plus? Yeah. If Mugumakon is at a later slot than Horkeu, and he gets the crit plus, then he can spread it. LOL, anyway, I'm currently seeding him now since he can do damage as well as now. And I don't have Onsen, so there wasn't really a reason to do it outside of pure favoritism. He is my best guardian. Yo, I'm late. Was driving, what was covered so far? Everything.
Yeah, this was literally the last topic we're reading in chat. Don't worry, you can hear our thoughts on the overall banner after at least.
Right at the end, hitting everything. RIP. Okay, that is it.
Yeah, RP stream. Thank you, Harvey, for covering that final topic. So, what do you guys think of, well, everything we talked about so far as a whole? The ARs as well as the EVOs. As well as the story if you want to talk about that, and the VSM reprinting in general.
I think everyone won here, because Hephaestus didn't get a Schivo, and now Yama is better than him.
I'm glad you're bringing that up the moment Hidden comes. Because, you know, Hephaestus is just that strong, right? He doesn't need an Evo. According to Hidden, you gotta take his word, Lifewonders did. Yeah. See, like, Shennong, you can make an argument for not getting an Evo. Because his charge is gonna be strong either way, but Hephaestus was. He's just funny.
Well,
That thing.
a certain green alien said that if you're pulling for this banner, you should aim for Shennong, because he is the best unit still. And I guess there's, like, some merit to that. Because he has that charge skill. And I don't know. How many wide DPS options do we have? Like, we have Beowulf and, like...
Humo turn 1, maybe. Perrin, yeah.
Licho, or...
No, not really.
Licho needs a lot of investment to work. As, like, a Licho fanatic.
Taji.
Yeah, Summer
Yeah,
Taji.
Summer Taji's good. I can confirm he's very good. For, like, Seed Quest especially. And Blossom.
Yeah, Summer Shennong's still, like, in the top 5 for wide/DPS, I'm pretty sure.
I think that might be a bit of a too wide bracket considering how few wide slash units we actually have.
I'm realizing how flawed my statement was. Oh yeah, we got Yuma too, but he's more of a turn 1 board wipe and support than actual wide/DPS, so Anyways.
I
came into the stream.
Sorry, go ahead.
I came into the stream kind of like disillusioned because I was like hearing Mr. Green Alien's takes on the units, so I didn't really know what to think about them anymore.
What if someone tells on him, "You're not supposed to slander in public like this"? Even though I'm not disagreeing whatsoever.
But yeah, good to know that I wasn't losing my mind with my opinions on everyone's kits.
Yeah.
I think the most important part about this update is obviously the battle speed stuff.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
Nobody else cares about virtual summer memory and just wants this event to be over already.
It's a shame that they or I don't know if I'd say a shame is the right word, but they implemented the fast speed up on the event, which has my favorite music. So I can't even really listen to that while grinding. But oh well.
Yeah.
But it's fine
kinda
because
surprised.
Ara hates this song.
It's not that good.
Huh?
Jeez.
What?
See,
I don't hate it.
He
It's just
hates
like
it.
you're hyping it up for no reason. It's just a song. It's not that good.
It's
It's
just,
just
a
a
song.
song, SMH.
I'll have to remember
Am
to
I
say
alone
that
in
to
this?
you later.
Really?
Yes, actually, yeah. From what I can tell, like a lot of people like Virtual Summer Memory. In fact, I think it's what I checked recently, and it's one of the highest viewed on the OST.
It's just the fucking Mortal Kombat theme turned into a dance song.
Alright, alright. What is your favorite Housamo track then? Give us your top 3.
Okay, I think I am quite partial to the chapter 14th main theme with, the one in the most recent trailer, but actually the prologue one. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be I like the Nightglow's music. It'd be hard to pick, but I'd probably pick one from there as well. Showdown as well. A lot of the Showdown music. Pretty much all the Showdown music was really good too. Oh yeah, Gangstar was really good too. Yeah. During that period, there was a lot of good music. Even Howling Police's battle theme was really good. Anyway, this is not.
But
a
you
music
don't
selection.
like VSM because it's just a song.
Fucking just dance revolution music. What do you want?
I love Drop
More
the Bomb.
Dance Revolution music instead of stuff like the music which plays in Otohime's character quest.
I just pressed skip, so I didn't notice.
It plays
and-
during the battle.
Oh, I see. I don't even remember it though. I'll read up the chat if no one else has anything else to say about the fast speed. Or anything else.
Well, I guess there's. I really wish the AR banner wasn't so mediocre. The Otohime one is probably the best one, just because of Asian piercing. But at least Tigre got a good evolution. Evo.
I thought you were about to say he got
I'm
a good
happy for
AR.
that.
I was like, don't know about that.
I think
No, fucking
think-
AR. Give me a good one, please. Fuck.
I think the art for the AR banner is pretty cursed this time as well, with the Moyai Tsukuyomi and whitewashed Yama.
It's like there's only one half of a good AR, and that's just Otohime, and you have to like only look at her face, and the rest is extremely
Yeah, her
cursed.
body's proportions are really like she's like overly thin, and Yama's yaoi hands makes her hands look even smaller,
Why does everyone have
and
yellow
also
hands on
her-
these ARs?
and also her boobs are like kind of really flat, like downwards flat, not like towards her chest, as in like towards her feet. They look really weird. So yes, the art is very bad. Please pick someone. Stop picking Yao to draw Tigre. Pick Hinami, please.
Hinami Tigre would be pretty cute, I think.
I think they might have drawn one before, but like not in Housamo, but
they might have. Sachi's Tigre was pretty good, I think. Even though they nerfed his armpit hair, so actually unforgivable.
It was gone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's talking about VSM right now because everyone is so hyped for Summer 2.
No, this entire period is just a midnight summer's dream. Wake me up when it's sober.
I don't even remember anything from that.
Well, we got cancelled if we leak it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care either.
Yeah, the play. I saw it once in lower school when I was a lot younger, and I had no idea what's going on. So all I remember from it was the main lead screaming "Vander" or "Xander" into the night, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I see.
It was very confusing, especially for a lower school kid.
Anyway, ARs suck, but the evos are getting good, so it's fine. That's pretty much my attitude throughout, not just this event, but for the past several events. So I don't really care about ARs anymore, even if they're amazing. I'm never gonna use them because fucking boosters exist. So I'm just looking forward to whatever really cool Evos Lifewonders has in their kitchen. Keep it up, Lifewonders. Love these Evos.
Did people put in suggestions for more AR slots in the survey? Because I forget if I did or not.
I mean, that's just an obvious thing. Oh well.
I might have. I'll need to go fish up my screenshot if I can find it.
Yeah. And of course,
On the top of
sorry, go ahead.
On the topic of Evos, can we like get a 4-star Evo that's good and for a character that I care about?
You don't care about Yamo Tigre?
I care about Tigre, but it's like I don't get to use him for farming. That's sad.
True.
You mean like the booster ones, or just like in general from the gacha ones? Because I don't know why you'd be farming with non-boosters. But maybe that's just me.
I put the leaked Melusine AR on my Hombre because Milk is doing rank XP right now.
Oh, I see what you mean by that. Sometimes I equip the Guildmaster AR and Leak, but yeah, I'm not too picky about it nowadays. I have my favorites and I don't really care if they can equip the most relevant stuff. They're just for high difficulty quests. Anyway, I think we're running around in circles here, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the chat now, if that's right with everyone.
Yep. Go ahead.
Alright, let's see. Thanks everyone for the stream. Now to wait for the second summer event. Keep on waiting. Rip Summer Shennong skill Evo forever, stuck with 1 square of Poison Reversal. I mean, you're not gonna be using Shennong for his Poison Reversal for the most anyways. You're most likely gonna be using him just for his poorly programmed busted ass charge. Yep, we are finished in Tran. Yeah, enough with the Hephaestus jokes. Already kicking me when you're down with Lifewonders not transcending Mystic Christmas. This Christmas, they have to do it for sure, right? Because if they don't, I swear to God, like... they need to. Even I want to translate it, not be sub-event, but they need to get the gang start. The important shit there, right? So, I feel like most likely they're just going to translate the stories without releasing a proper event for them. They haven't released a proper Christmas reprint event in ages because it's too close to New Year's as well as anniversary. So that's pretty much their only choice at this point. I think they did that also for Battle of the Bells. They just translated it without giving it its own shop. Typically cameo in this event was nice. Oh yeah, they briefly mentioned Typically in Virtual Summer Memories. It was very bizarre seeing that being relevant to us now since Jurassic just came out. Or giving Searcher 5 or Takamura 5-star as skill evolution. Not happening until, I don't know, they get a variant, or variant 2 rather. Farming in this event blows as much as its battle theme owns. There's always the tax of some kind.
No, that's not true at all. It's one of the easiest events to farm because there's like so many bonus units you can use.
I mean, even with all the bonus units, I feel like my bonus was still lower than in Jurassic somehow. It's weird.
Summer Oz. Summer Oz is the way.
Well, Milk, you have like the banner 5 stars, so of course it's gonna be easy for you.
The privilege speaking.
I mean, like vertical is like still super easy.
It takes me 4 turns to do it, but I'm done with it, so I don't care anymore.
Ow.
Well, fucking pre-skivos, like...
Yeah, it's like
it
now
was,
with
like,
the Evos would have helped. I forgot to mention the title of this fucking stream. It's too late. I'm done grinding already. What are these Evos? Jesus Christ. So fucking pointless. I mean, they're nice for maybe future content, but this was supposed content they'd be most relevant in. So thanks, Lifewonders. Please release the Evos on release of the event next time. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know what's with this trend of like delaying skivos like a week or 2 into the actual campaign period. It's stupid.
So people get engaged.
They give the illusion that there's a continuous stream of content, even though they had those Evos ready at the beginning of the event. Ugh. Ara likes Super Shooter. Ignore him. LOL. I don't like that song, and it's also called Fast Shooter. So when are you gonna do a music tier list? I was thinking of maybe doing that, but it's a bit difficult to gauge if people will actually want to watch this because it's not really something you watch, it's more something you listen to, and I don't know how that would work out. And I don't know how many people actually care that much about fucking Housamo music that they put in on their playlists and know things by name and all that.
Do a
If we're doing-
podcast.
Sorry, what?
Do a podcast.
A podcast. This technically is already categorized as a podcast, but yeah. If we're doing top 3 themes, Jacko Riot, Gangstar, and Otohime Overdrive. Jacko Riot's a banger, Gangstar's a banger. Your third choice needs some work though. See me after class. Super speed battles. I just want to break from new eras. I'm running out of tickets. Yeah, I only had 1 AR ticket to spend on this banner. And I didn't get anything, so that's why my bonus was kind of shit probably. But it was nice to be able to get a tiny bit of bonus with the other boosters, such as the rank stuff. For battle speed upgrades, thoughts, more speed good. Eras miss for me, I'm lucky if I see a 4-star. Waiting for Summer 2, hope I get Summer Yoshito for Summer 2. Oh yeah, I guess it's about time for the Invaders Kenji to get their variants. They've been kind of on their game with getting the other ones out. Although they did dilly-dally with Town Tome a bit. At least New Year will be Summer River rerun. Lots of potential for skill evolutions there. Or next year. I don't know why they didn't release it this year. Usually they should be releasing 2 summer reprints every year so that it can catch up. But since they always do 2 summer events every year. But if they don't, then we're just falling behind. Shaking your head at Summer Algernon's erasure right now. What about him? I started working on my list for the next Housamo survey, and what I'd like to add, 2 ARs per unit is on that list. Nice, nice. Hey Joe, glad to see you are absolutely late and have missed everything. Can count on you for that. People are asking about the Christmas reprints. Hopefully it's not just, you know, the English community, but also the Japanese one. I could have done the stream since there was almost nothing to talk about. That's not true, except for the ARs. The ARs were pretty much nothing. But the Evos as a whole were pretty good. The worst one out of the set was most likely either Kushis or Hombres, and even then, they weren't that bad. You couldn't even, if there was only a single 2-star AR to talk about. Ouch, the burn. Why does inconsistent with starting positions? Yeah, not my favorite, although Milk supposedly has a 1-turn setup for that, probably because he has all the 5 stars from the banner for that Shennong Tetsuwa's Walk on Board White meme. Holding out on Mystical Christmas reprint for so long means Christmas Tetsuya's eventual Evo will be meta-defined in Copium. That is a nice point. All these shit units, they did justice for Virtual Summer Evos. So I'm looking forward to these late reruns for these Christmas things, if they get to them and give them proper Evos. Music samples. Bye guys, thanks for stream. Rude. Give me a good bad list later, please. I don't know what you're asking for there, but sure. Yeah, that's it. Alright, on 3 guys, let's say our byes. 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye.
Bye.